Okay, for today's video, I'm going to try and clean up and make usable again an old wood lathe that belonged to my grandfather so I can turn hammer handles.
And we are the Chisholm Trail Outdoor Museum blacksmiths. Welcome to our shop.
Yeah. Take it all the way down.
I suppose we'll start by taking everything off of here. This would be easier if I had a fancy workbench or something. Since I haven't done this before, it looks like we have to take off the, I don't even know what you call this, the spindle with the pulleys on it, so that we can slide the other side off of the base. That'll let us clean up this rusty old base. Everything seems to move fairly freely, so I don't think we'll have a problem there. More or less cleaning all the rust and all the gunk off of it. We have a smooth surface. Everything slides. We have a base we can work on. Now we're clean. I'm going to use an angle grinder with a Scotch-Brite pad on it so as not to take any real metal off. We just want to clean it so everything moves. Really works really good for taking off all this rust, and it worked good for paint too. And you can see some of the original machining marks in the metal there, so you know that you're not actually taking a bunch of metal off of it, which is probably good because I think these surfaces are supposed to be pretty flat. Might as well clean up the outside of it so that we can shoot some paint on it or something. This is an old Craftsman if anybody's interested. Pretty quick. I like these things. I use them a lot for the top of the anvil because they don't scar up the anvil, but it'll take all the gunk off the top. Rust and things from sitting out here while I'm working at the shop. It looks like what's under this rust is kind of a gray color. I'm guessing that's the original color, but I'll probably go back with a red oxide primer for now, just to keep it from rusting until I can figure out what the actual color was, and then maybe we can go back and put a coat of factory color paint on it. Tuck that handle in right there. It's well, I've worked so long building this belly, you know, I got to use it for something. So some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, we're getting somewhere. I'm just going to put a little oil here on these really lightly onto these surfaces because I don't want paint to stick to. We don't have to go back over them anyway. Also don't want them to rust. You don't want to put too much on there, you'll end up with oil running down the side of the lathe, and then you won't get paint stick anyway. And for this, we're just going to use a Rust-Oleum red oxide primer to do everything we need done. Now, of course, inevitably, like anything else you do in your garage, you end up screwing something up and painting something you didn't want to paint anyway, like either your hands or your anvil or whatever. But that's what you got soap and the Scotch-Brite disc for. You'll be fine. Alright, and this does work, the oil, I mean, and it will allow you to wipe the paint off. Although I would have rather used tape. Of course, I don't have any tape right now, so there you go. Use whatever you got at hand. But tape would have been easier, I think. Probably much faster. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna clean up these mating surfaces here, and then probably clean up the rest of this thing, oil everything, and primer it. Get it ready for service. Alright, so this one's cleaned up and painted. I suppose, now that you look at it, the red oxide primer doesn't really make it look much different than it was when it started. But this will keep it from oxidizing and rusting, and eventually it won't work anymore or just be rusted away and lost to time. I prefer to preserve it if I can. Okay, now I've pulled this plate off that covers the pulleys where the belt connects to, and it appears that the original color is a nice, I don't know if you'd call that a Craftsman gray. That's probably what they called it. But hopefully I can get something similar to this, and we can go back after everything's said and done with and put the original color back on it. Okay, so I suppose everything is dry enough that we can start putting it all back together. Again, a work table would have made this easier. Maybe that will have to be my next project, is a table for this to go on at least. It's not something for me just to work off of. Cover back on here. It would probably be a good idea to get some chrome polish or something, and from that go through and polish this little aluminum piece, make it look a little better. I don't want to scratch it up doing it with sandpaper or something like that. But it looks like we hook a motor to it, we should have a usable lathe. There you go. One, I guess, not exactly rebuilt, but one now usable lathe. I can start turning my own hammer handles, and that'll be fun. I guess I get to learn some woodworking. See you next time.